most, driving is just a mundane task between point A and point B. Nothing more. It's the frustration of traffic at 8 a.m., the feeling of sickness on a long ride. The car? Just a tool. It's supposed to be practical, reliable, and fast. But the speed is really the reason cars exist, born out of a necessity to make that A to B trip just a little bit faster. Some have a deeper connection with cars, found somewhere in the bond of man and machine, a desire to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's the extension of mind and body to something more exciting than just another appliance. And these people never cared about practicality or reliability. To them, the only thing that matters is speed. We're born with a competitive nature, part of a biological necessity that is not yet worn off with time. People have raced for thousands of years, and that competition has transcended history and found its way to the industrial age. Railroads raced to build across the country, replacing the horses whose strength is still used as a benchmark for power today. And as personal vehicles became popular, the railroads died off. What once was the quickest way across the country became snail's pace in comparison. The interstate highway system expanded and cars populated every driveway. And the competition between types of transport quickly transitioned into the race to have the fastest car. Bragging rights. Manufacturers like Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW emerged in auto racing, each trying to one-up the other. Building engines became an arms race. Who could build the fastest dinosaur-powered legs? So while the passion for cars has died for most, there are still people that are fascinated by racing. The sights, the sounds, the smell of burning rubber and spent race fuel lingering in the air, this is what attracts us to the sport of auto racing. We are empowered by drivers that climb in impossibly fast cars and put everything on the line for the sake of competition. Drivers who know that one slip-up can lead to disaster. And for the longest time, wishing to be a race car driver was just a childhood dream. All we could ever be was a spectator. Opportunities? Limited and expensive. Reserved only for the who's who of the racing world. Until now.
Back to the bottom, 6 to go. Makes a mistake again. He missed the shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down, hop these curves, up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over, down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
Race 7 of the 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour for the 3WideRacing League takes us to the dirt track at Charlotte. Just a few short weeks ago, we were at Eldora Speedway where we had a couple heats before we set up a feature race and had about a 100-lap battle here. But tonight, it's the dirt track at Charlotte, and there's no heats tonight, Finian, just 90 laps. And that's a really, really short race. The intensity goes up. We have just over 20 trucks on the entry list tonight. Much wider than Eldora, but relatively similar in some ways, very different in others. What are our expectations tonight? What are we going to see out there at the dirt track at Charlotte?
Well, I don't know exactly what we're going to see. Definitely think we're going to see some great action here, especially considering that we don't have heat. So 90 laps, these guys are fresh and ready to go. No one's going to be eliminated tonight. Everyone's going to be out there on the track. Everyone that showed up for tonight. And again, points are on the line. It's not an exhibition race. This is a points race for these guys. So especially the guys that enjoy their dirt tracks, like we've seen guys like Wade Lear. He's pretty good at dirt. Same with Richard Hines. They're going to be enjoying this race a lot.
Tate Lytle out on the racetrack right now, making his qualifying run at the moment. It is number 56. Finian, we know one thing about dirt is that sliding around, it's all about technicality and skill, not so much about the brute force. It's definitely a dance with these 3,400-pound race cars, but in 90 laps, I mean, it's more of an aggressive tango than it is anything else that you do at prom where it's an awkward situation. So let me ask you this: if you qualify back of the field tonight, can you get to the front in 90 laps without making enemies?
I mean, yes, but the chances of that are going to be very low. I think naturally everyone's going to hit at least some other truck. It's just bound to happen when you have guys going sideways into corners and cars that really weren't designed to do so. So I think naturally it's going to happen. Whether you're going to make enemies, it kind of depends on the driver too.
All right, well, lap times are really short, about 18 seconds around. The best lap time by Cameron Rich in practice was an 18.912. He's sitting on pole right now with an 19.050. Drivers I'm watching tonight, the 17 at Cameron Rich, Johnny Thomas, and the 09 Paul Ross, and the 18. Those are your front three. But how about Kyle Hanshaw in the 46, who I mentioned before? That 46 truck, Finney, and he was our Eldora winner last year. He is going to be awful good tonight, so maybe he can come up to the front. Anybody else on your mind that I haven't mentioned already?
No, not really. I'm waiting. I'm just looking at Kyle Hanshaw. He's actually just now starting to roll out of the pits. He's getting ready to put his time down.
And pit road, a very interesting situation. You're going to roll out kind of perpendicular to the racetrack, but he's going to get rolling that 46 well in that Chemical Guys Toyota Tundra as he kicks his way around. And one thing I'm immediately noticing is that you kind of have to hang these trucks out a lot more than you do at Eldora. I feel like at Eldora, you're trying to fight the truck to keep it straight. Here, you're kind of flinging it around more like a classical dirt car. It's just very interesting to watch. I think this is certainly going to benefit this 46 driver here. So he starts his lap. We'll ride on board. Pretty short lap. You're kind of just rolling around in a circle most of the time. The banking changes a lot from the bottom to the top of the racetrack. Of course, starting at a pretty fresh state here, so the track is going to be grippy and fast. And Hanshaw, look at him working the inside lane now, the short way around with this grippy racetrack. I think that's the place to be out of turn 4 for his first of 2 qualifying laps. He's going to put down a time. What is it, an 18.967? That'll be good enough for pole. He'll sit at the top of the board right now. Oh, no, P3, actually.
Yeah, Cameron Rich is sitting on pole with an 18.911.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong, I was looking at the last column, not the best column. But awful close. It was only 84 thousandths of a second off. A bit of a bobble there for Hanshaw that time through. I don't think he'll improve, and he didn't. A 19.286, 3/10 off his previous time. 14 seconds left, though. Nobody out on track. We're going to have about 5 that aren't going to qualify. Maybe make that 4. Cameron Rich is going to be your pole sitter tonight in that number 17.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Grunberg and Velez aren't putting down a time. You'd think that they would probably at least put down a time, but I guess they figure they're going to start in the back here and work their way to the front. That should be entertaining.
All right, 90 laps, halfway points awarded at the 45 lap mark. Finian, this is a challenging racetrack for sure. The track state's going to be grippy when we start. We have about 20 odd trucks on the grid here tonight, and let's roll through our starting lineup for the evening. We'll start with that on the front row. It's going to be Cameron Rich in the number 17 Chevrolet Silverado, starting alongside Johnny Thomas in the 09 Chevy Silverado. Johnny Thomas, certainly very good on dirt. We'll see how he runs tonight. Starting in row number 2, rather, is Kyle Hanshaw in the 46 machine, his Toyota Tundra, alongside Paul Ross's Tundra in the number 18. And Paul Ross is certainly very good at this sort of thing as well. Starting 5th, Levi Zielinski in the number 6 Chevrolet Silverado. Richard Hines in the number 2 Chevy Silverado, starting in the outside of row number 3. And row number 4, it's going to be Sam Close in the 5 and Chuck Sweeting in the number 26. And Close in a Tundra, Sweeting in a Silverado. And starting in 9th and 10th, we're going to move on back to Wade Lear in the Chevy Silverado, one of the drivers that tried to vote to get the heats tonight when they decided to make the change at the last minute. And Cody McCorkle going to be starting in 10th. We'll let the rest of that scroll along the bottom of your screen. Finian, tonight, the dirt track racing. We've seen it at Eldora a few weeks ago. Well, we weren't there for that race. We had PTR TV cover that one while I was at Grid Life and Finian was off and away. And tonight we get to do the dirt. This time it's kind of a privilege. We don't get to do stuff like this very often. A lot of the times we're just doing normal 1.5 mile racetracks or road courses, but this is something different entirely. Totally different mindset walking into something like tonight. So you're definitely going to see a different group of people emerge, but also staying out of trouble. You can't really hit anything very fast, but you can certainly damage your truck, so these drivers got to be very careful not to tear their stuff up.
Yeah, and again, as you were saying earlier, too, you definitely also don't want to make some enemies by rubbing fenders, too, as you're saying. You could easily do that. I imagine both these guys probably not gonna, but you know what? I guess when push comes to shove, you're definitely gonna try to shove someone out of the way, and it's very easy to do so on dirt.
Well, if you have any beef with a driver, this is really the place to get it out. I mean, you can spin a driver and they'll spin around at 20 miles an hour, no harm done, but your displeasure has been shared. That is your starting lineup for tonight, as we're going to see the field roll off here shortly for 2 pace laps before the pace truck pulls off to the race side of the racetrack. 90 laps is only a 28-minute race around here if it goes green to the end. I don't know if we'll see that, but we're certainly going to try. You see the field roll off here. This is a very, very small racetrack looking from above, about 0.4 miles in length. This is one of the shortest racetracks we're going to be on all year long. I actually thought this was a quarter mile. I just bought this track this afternoon. I thought it was a quarter mile. It's just under a half. But it's still one of the smallest tracks we're going to deal with. Now, it's also not the narrowest. It's pretty wide. Lots of racetrack to use. I think the bottom's going to be dominant the first couple laps, so I think we'll see drivers slip up to the top as that bottom wears out.
Yeah, and really the guys who are able to use that lane migration to their advantage, the first guys that'll change lanes, those are probably the guys you're going to see climb to the top. It's especially important as a dirt driver. You want to keep track of how the surface is playing out, especially considering the surface is next to new in this session. So you guys are going to have to figure out how the line progresses as this race goes on for 90 laps.
Well, I see the pace truck pulling off. I see the 09 up front alongside Cameron Rich in the number 17 YZNR Designs truck. And they've got Kyle Hanshaw, proven dirt winner, starting in row number 2. Field rolls through turns 3 and 4. Starter's got the green flag in hand. 90 laps at the dirt track in Charlotte. Green flag flies. We're racing here again for round number 7 of 2019.
Yeah, and Rich off to a fantastic start, getting the jump early. Hanshaw and Thomas fighting it out behind him.
And a big cluster of trucks. There's 4 wide there in the middle of the field. That's 53 of Dave Hunt. There's the 3 of Kluser, who's on the outside lane, but up the road, there's a big gaggle of race trucks. There's 12 of Cody McCorkle in behind. There's Matt Hackathorn in the 44 trying to get his way around. There's the 3 truck of Kluser, who's getting together with Dave Hunt down into turn number 1 side by side. Velez and the 54 Grunberg together. Not a great qualifying effort by the 54. I don't even think he put a lap in, but he's got some work to do tonight.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he did too. Oh, gets tapped in behind from Velez, so those guys are already rubbing fenders.
Oh, big mess out of turn 4 as we get the field underway. Already 3 laps complete. There's Corey Lindsay in the 00. You mentioned the 54 getting hit already, but it's hard to find out where to look with so much chaos going around. Trucks already kicking up dirt, and I see some other big gaggle up ahead with the 26 of Sweeting. He's going to the bottom of the racetrack underneath McCorkle. The 15 of Frainfield's in the fence out of turn 2.
Yeah, these guys are still not done with this shenanigan. Sweeting hit the 12 in the quarter panel, and whoa, a lot of these guys sideways. You see Hackathorn sideways, Hines sideways.
The field roll already rolling through to complete lap number 4, but man, this is pretty wild stuff. Look at Frainfield rolling the high lane. First driver we've seen really try that up the road. How about the 38 of Robert Hill Jr., 1 on the road course at Watkins Glen. ran pretty well at Montreal as well, and now he's trying to work his way through the midfield here. Behind him, there's some trucks trying to make contact with each other. That's Velez in the 48 and 53 of Dave Hunt. Back up towards the front, though, it's all Cameron Rich at the moment with a 0.8 of a second lead over Johnny Thomas and Kyle Hanshaw.
Yeah, Thomas and Hanshaw were able to sort that battle out, so now Thomas is trying to reel in Cameron Rich, although Rich looks like he's off to a very fast pace at the moment, so Thomas has really got to book it.
So far, so good. Trucks still side by side. How about Hackathorn in that number 44 machine, trying to work his way up? Started 11th, running 9th right now. There's some more contact happening behind Jadrosich, and the 42 got in the fence, and that is the 38 of Robert Hill Jr., who we mentioned. Now he's going to go middle 3 wide out of the exit of 2. And that's Sweeting on the bottom. Hackathorn all out of shape up the road. And he's contacted 2 trucks around. Richard Hines in the fence, and Frankenfield and Velez hit the wall after they tried to escape that accident, but first caution out lap number 8. And that's just, we're going to see a lot of that kind of situation. Now, here's a look at the replay here. This is, of course, with the 44. You see him kick out way sideways, and the 2 just kind of drives into the door. Nothing he can do. You see the 15 fly in here, drills the concrete, just trying to miss the 2 truck. But pretty minor damage for those trucks, I believe.
Yep, so already had a spin, but yeah, off to a pretty good start so far.
And no plans for any pit stops tonight. Pit road's pretty much a pain to get to. Tires don't really matter. You're not going to need to refuel. It's just an all-out battle, but can anyone catch Cameron Rich? He's off to a pretty good start. I don't see even Kyle Hanshaw pushing up there. Is it that difficult to pass, or is Cameron Rich just that good?
Well, I think also what's helping too, we didn't really talk about it, is just the way pit road is situated. The entry for the pace truck is on the back straightaway, so that leaves Rich to restart anywhere from turn 3 to turn 4, which is what you typically see at dirt tracks with the leader starting in the corner. So he's able to get a much better jump than he would at other ovals compared to this track. So I think that's where he's gaining a lot of time on the restarts, and then Thomas has to spend the rest of the time gaining that time back. So we'll see if Thomas can get a better jump or better read on where Cameron Rich is going to go, so he can try to stay with him. But I think that's the biggest factor that played into that lead.
And which lane do you pick for the restart here, as we're going to get the one to go this time through? Do you go high side? Do you go low side? It looks like Rich has chosen the bottom. Do you agree with that move or not?
I think I agree with that move. I still don't think the track's worn out enough to leave the bottom lane. We'll definitely see that later on in the second half of the race.
Cameron Rich has led every lap so far. We had our first caution on lap 8 for the spin of Richard Hines after contact with the 44 Hackathorn. Everyone's going to continue. No one DNF just yet, but Cameron Rich out up front alongside Johnny Thomas and Kyle Hanshaw, 2 proven dirt veterans. Field rolls out of turn number 4. Yellow flag still in hand. Green flag's going to fly. Racing again, lap number 11. The field gets back underway.
Yeah, Thomas looks like he got a much better jump that time through as he goes to the outside of Hanshaw. Those guys fighting it yet again.
That's Tate Lytle in the 56. McCorkle's in the fence in the 12. On the back straightaway, there's a 38 of Robert Hill Jr. trying to go through the middle of the 44 and 12, but that hole closes on the exit. They're 3 wide contact. 44 gets into the 12 goes into the fence, and now look at the 38 slide job on the bottom. Can't complete the pass, though. Here comes McCorkle back around the outside.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. Everyone's so close together and just fanning out all over the track. You really have to be careful where trucks are, because someone can just hit you in the door mid-corner and send you around.
And there's Matt Grunberg slowly making his way through. He gets drilled by the 26. Sweeting spins at the exit of the corner. Second caution of the night.
Oh, actually, there was another incident I was looking at.
Oh, up the road. Was it Jadrosich?
Lytle was the one that got spun around in turn 1.
Ah, I didn't see Lytle. We'll take a quick look at the Lytle incident. We saw the 26s pretty clearly. Let's take a look at how Lytle got turned around. He spun around. Did he get any help, or did he just go around on his own?
Oh, he had some help from behind. I think it was a 5 Sam close.
Oh. No, it looked like he just kind of hit the fence. Let me take another look from up above. On corner exit, did he just clip the wall? Yeah, he clipped the wall and then got helped around by Close at the end. Then, of course, let's go back one more time and take another look at the 26's spin of Chuck Sweeting. And he went around, I think, as a result of just getting kind of... I don't actually remember what happened here. Let's take another look. Oh, the 54 drifted out to the 54 on exit, just kind of clobbered him in the quarter panel, spun himself around really harmlessly. Problem is you're going to lose all that track position now, which is going to hurt. You see him get out of the way of the pace truck there, but 2 cautions slowing the progress here the first 16 laps. No surprises here. Dirt can get kind of messy, but Cameron Rich is loving this out up front right now.
Yeah, loving it indeed, and I'm sure he's gonna love for this to continue because he's able to get really good jumps on the restarts, and no one can catch him for a few laps after.
Yeah, so far we haven't seen a lot of movement around in the order. I noticed that Grunberg is up to 12th. He started at the tail of the field, but up front, the top three, pretty much how they started. Zielinski in the number 6, he started in 5th. Actually, he's scored in P5 right now. He started 5th, so he hasn't gone anywhere. Paul Ross is pretty much where he is. Wade Lear started 9th. He's up to 6th, so he's gained 3 spots as we get the 1 to green here. And it's just absolute chaos on these restarts. We've seen 3 and 4, and some even trying 5 wide. From up above, it looks crazy as we get the green flag back in the air. Lap number 18, Cameron Rich takes off again.
Ooh, Thomas didn't really get his good jump, made a mistake in turn 4. Hansha's going to take advantage. He moves himself up in a second.
Yeah, Kyle Hanshaw now on the charge to the back of the 17. He won Eldora last year. Can he win the dirt track at Charlotte this year? There is the 5 of Sam Close, who had some front-end damage after contact with the 56. And right behind is the 54 of Grunberg riding on board him as he tries to navigate this chaos around the dirt track at Charlotte.
Yeah, he starts especially is really where he gets really watching everything around.
Rolling along the high side here, and Sema he's up to 10th, and now using the outside lane, riding that cushion up there, Finian. We haven't seen the outside really be the place to pass, but the 54 making ground up right now as Johnny Thomas goes back for 2nd.
Yeah, Thomas goes on the inside, Hanshaw all the way up towards the wall trying to make that work, but I just don't think that lane is ready yet. I think the inside lane is definitely where you want to be for now.
But look at Hanshaw just expertly hanging that right rear out on the cushion. Look at him carry that speed through the corner. I think you're right, maybe a bit too early for that lane, but it's certainly going to be the place to be later as we have a battle for, looks like it's going to be the 9th spot with Grunberg, McCorkle, and others here, including the 44 of Hackathorn. The 2 of Richard Hines recovering from his early contact with the wall and back up to 18th. But how about Hackathorn? We've been watching him all day. Oh, we got the one around. It's the Roy Lindsay vehicle, the 00. And he hit the tires, I think.
Yeah, I was watching him as he was doing that. Definitely hit the tires. And got word from someone else in another league, Bailey Turner. He was telling us about the tires. You got to watch out for those, especially if you're in that inside lane. Yep. And Lindsay hit them.
Yeah, just clobbered it. And actually, if we could get right on board the right front suspension here. He didn't hit it with the right front, but you'll be able to see the reaction to the suspension as he drills this tire. Oh, I think we're just watching him pace right now, unfortunately. I couldn't get a good look at that, but yeah, he clobbered that tire pretty good. And you mentioned Bailey Turner from the Outsider Racing League mentioned the tires on the inside. Well, you know, the inside lane is a quick place to be, but it's a fine line between hooking that apron and just drilling a 1.5-foot tall tire that'll wreck your day. But the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw, importantly, maintains 2nd place. Is he the one to watch here to take the battle to the 17?
I definitely think so. He's giving the 17 a little bit of a shove under caution, trying to show that he's there and ready to take the lead away from him. So, yeah, so we'll see now with Hanshaw starting in 2nd place what's going to transpire.
The field doubling back up. We'll probably get the 1 to green this time through. Still have everyone running that started the race again. With speed so low, I don't think we're going to see any DNFs unless somebody really clobbers somebody. But on lap number 25, we should get the 1 to green. Lights are going to be out on the pace truck.
Yeah, I mean, this race is already going very quickly, too. We're almost a third of the way through this race.
Yeah, about 20 minutes remaining if it goes green to the end from here. Although we've been slowed by 3 yellows to start off with, the 2 of Richard Hines, the 56 and the 26 both having simultaneous accidents, and most recently the 00 of Corey Lindsay in his accident. So the 46 way out ahead of the 17. Got to be careful with that out there. I don't want to get caught for a jump start. Field rolling through turns 3 and 4, flag in hand of the flagman. And look at Cameron Rich get a spectacular jump on the 46, and it looks like Johnny Thomas is going to take advantage of that and jump right back into 2nd.
Yeah, Hanshaw got a very poor jump. Thomas taking advantage of that. Levi Zielinski in the 6. He's looking to the outside of Hanshaw, trying to take away 3rd.
And of course, this is just looking from above. It is just like throwing a bunch of pieces of popcorn at the ground, and which one's going to come out in front at the end, nobody knows. But we're doing 2 and 3 wide here in the restarts. Everyone's kicking the tails out. I'm amazed we haven't had more cautions than we have, but look who's coming, Finian. That 54 Grunberg started at the tail of the field. He's won a couple races this year in both the Truck and the Cup Series leagues. And look at him charging forward. He's up into 6th now, looking for 5th.
Yeah, he's really starting to make that middle to outside lane his own. He's just been riding it consistently and consistently fast.
And almost did like a Scandinavian flick there on entry. Kind of jerked bolt caution out in the rear. It's going to be Hackathorn in the 44. Oh, big one in the back there. The 9 of K Pole, the 66, jumps over a curb. Klooster, who's involved, as well as the 2 of Hines. So our 4th caution of the night. Let's take a look at how this one started. It started up the road with the 44. We caught the tail end of that here. Let's take another look. He got hit from the 48 of Velez. It turned him around. The 2 had nowhere to go, and then everyone else just kind of piled in.
Yeah, and it's the thing is the resulting end of that was pretty much guys just trying to get the trucks to slow down, but you're already sideways, and when you hit the brakes, the back end just comes around due to physics.
Can I just say that Tate Lytle, you got to watch his on board as he navigates this fitting. He did a spectacular job swinging around.
Yeah.
Here's a look.
That's a Scandinavian flick right there. Wow, great job.
Look at this. This whole wreck happens right in front of him here. And look at him just jerk this truck back to the right and back to the left. Just scrapes the quarter panel on the fence, but avoided a much bigger incident. Good job on Tate Lytle. That's the move of the night so far for me. All right, back up to the front. Cameron Rich is still led every single lap. It's going to be challenging for people to wrestle this lead away with the continued yellows.
Yeah, and again, that restart, he's just been nailing it every single time. No one's been able to get a good read of where he's going to go. And even just in general, starting on that outside lane in the middle of a corner where the guys start restarting on the inside, it's so hard to get to take a longer way around when you're getting up to speed. So you're just automatically at a disadvantage.
Field rolls out of turn number 2. Johnny Thomas back in no man's land out there on the outside for the restart. That's going to give the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw another shot at the 17. If you can time the restart right, you can get a pretty good launch at the 17 of Cameron Rich. If you can just get underneath him, you could probably throw a slide job. We haven't seen anybody be able to successfully do that yet to him. And we're racing again, lap number 32.
Yeah, we're talking about restarts. Thomas with a great restart. He's going to be side by side with the 17. Can he take the lead away?
He's certainly going to try side by side at a turn number 2. He's alongside. He's out front now. Can he clear the 17, though? It's going to be a challenge as they roll through turns 3 and 4. Does anyone take the challenge to the 17 out of turn 4? Johnny Thomas is going to lead his first lap of the night.
Yeah, so first lead change right there for this race. Thomas still running that outside lane. Should be able to clear the 17, and there he does. New leader.
Wow, great job by Johnny Thomas. You see some chaos midfield. Here's the 54 Grunberg up inside the top 5 for the first time tonight. Rolling the outside lane, and here comes G. Adrosich up the middle 3 wide.
Yeah, these guys are here, the 54, the 6, and the 11. They're ready to go. Even the 6 of Zelensky, they're ready to go up to the front, but they're kind of too busy dealing with themselves. Still 3 wide.
They finally get back to 2, and Grunberg again looking, sliding that outside groove, using the rear right tire to jump that cushion as the 42 and 11 of Wade Lear battle for 6th. They're finally clear of each other. Wow, Wade Lear slipped up into that top groove behind. Robert Hill Jr. way on the bottom. He's way too sideways, though. He slips around. He's going to lose a couple spots in that whole process. But he's certainly trying to use that bottom of the racetrack. We see the lines moved way up, though.
Yeah, definitely that middle. If you want to be on the inside, you're going to be in that middle lane. That lower lane seems to be kind of gone. And as I say, that Grunberg is just chucking it in the corner. And does a slide job on Zelensky. Zelensky to make some contact, though, mid-corner.
Zelensky probably should have run a lot better at Bristol than he did and had an incident that kind of took him out of the running of that one. He's looking to come back stronger a couple weeks later, but hasn't really had the runs the last few weeks, so he's trying for sure.
Ooh.
Up in front, there's Cameron Rich and Kyle Hanshaw battling for second. Hanshaw tried to take it away. Cameron Rich slammed the door.
Yeah, Hanshaw has been also throwing it in the corner and door the 17, so these guys being aggressive with each other. I definitely think Hanshaw has got a faster car, though, or truck in this case, than Rich at the moment.
Up front, though, Johnny Thomas is stretched out to a half a second lead over Rich, but he's trying to reel him back in, that 17 truck is. Let's go back midfield. Jadrosich and Wade Lear fighting for 6th. And then even deeper, however, let's jump back. Here's Robert Hill Jr.'s got some front-end damage on that truck. Haven't seen where he got that from. See the 15 of Frankenfield up in the fence out of turn 4, trying to make up some ground.
Yeah, he's trying to look to the outside of Paul Ross, but there barely is an outside as Ross is already up against the wall.
Ross slipped out of turn 2, and it's going to let the 15 truck get around the outside and move himself forward. Grunberg up to 4th place. He just continues to climb, now battling the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw. And look for the lead.
Yeah, he's on a really good march forward. I think he needs another caution, though, to help him out track position-wise, get everyone back together again, and then he'll have a really good shot at taking the lead. But he throws to the inside of Hanshaw.
Caution. Oh, big one in the back one. We got one over on its lid, and it's Paul Ross in the 18. He's upside down. He's up on his side, and that's going to be it for the 18 of Paul Ross tonight, at least for now. He's up on his roof. I didn't know he could get a truck rolled over in that small of a racetrack. Here's a look. He was battling with the 15 of Chad Frankenfield for a couple laps. Frankenfield comes off the wall, clobbers the 18. They get hooked together. And then the 48 of Velez comes in here, and the 18 gets rolled over by the 44 and just barrel rolls into 26. Oh. Gets up on his lid as well. Just a big impact there for a lot of trucks.
Yeah, and Hackathorn retired. He's smoking. Chuck Sweeting, I see his truck smoking as well. So wow. 3 retirements.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big mess. Here's a look from on board the 44, if we can get it here shortly. Not much you can do here. Oh, man, what a mess. And here's Rusty Capel's view of the whole thing. Tries to slide on through. And, whoop, he kind of slid into it backwards. And Chuck Sweeting got a pretty good view of this and a pretty good hit in here as well. He was driving the number 26 truck, so he's also retired smoking after that incident. And here is his onboard view of the whole thing. So remember, halfway at lap 45, the points are going to be awarded. And we'll see how that kind of factors out here in a second as we take one last look at the 26. So let's jump back up. We got the 1 to green, and Johnny Thomas is scored as your leader. And at the restart, that's going to be probably given to the 09.
Yeah, pretty much so. And this first time Cannon Ridge hasn't been restarting or starting in first, so this will be kind of new ground for him. We'll see how he can keep up with Thomas.
Again, lap 45 is where the points are given, so this is going to be really good for that 09 JTR truck. Cameron Rich not running for points this year, doesn't really affect him very much, but Handshot trying to get to second place. Green flag back in the air, halfway through. Actually, it'll be next time by. So Johnny Thomas on the outside lane trying to defend for these points. He's got the 17 and the 46. 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, 3 wide for the lead up front. Handshot trying to get first place. It's going to be very close as they come out of turn 4. Rich in the middle.
Here comes Gruenberg up the outside lane for the top spot. The 38's around. I think Thomas got him by 33 thousandths of a second. As we saw the 38 spin out of turn 4. He gets spun back around. He goes straight again. But a big chaos up front. And the 6 of Zelinski's around in turn 4.
I was just going to say, this is going to get interesting. They were 3 wide for second place.
We'll take a replay of that as well as the accident between the 6 and whoever this got started. Here's a look. And it was their help from the 42. Yep, just helped them on around. And you mentioned up towards the front. Here's that 3 wide battle for second place. It looks like it was scored Thomas Gruenberg Hanshaw. Here's one more look at that as the caution flew. All right, so let's jump back up. Is there a fire alarm going off in your house? Get out. All right, caution out, lap 47. We've had a handful of them tonight. It is now our 6th caution for 18 laps. We've had 4 lead changes as we work our halfway point. Cameron Rich leads the race again. Now, Finian, he's gotten the lead back after that little stretch of chaos. Can anyone launch the fight back to him? I'm looking at that 09. It's probably one of the quickest trucks out there.
Yeah, definitely so. And we saw that Thomas was able to get a much better restart that helped him take the lead. So he pretty much needs to do the same thing again. But he needs to kind of start watching out that 54 truck. He's come all the way from the back of the pack to the front. And he's in 3rd. And he's definitely fast. So he's another factor that just got thrown in for the second half of the race.
Yeah, Gruenberg's up 16 spots in 48 laps. That is really, really impressive. But no surprises there for the 54. He's had incredible seasons in both series so far. And just continues to impress on every style of racetrack. Actually, he won Eldora a few weeks ago as well, if I recall correctly. So he has been mad good in recent weeks and looks to be doing the same tonight. Pace truck pulls off on the back straightaway. It leaves Cameron Rich back in control as the starter holds that yellow flag, waiting to trade it for the green. As the 17 of Rich, the 09 of Thomas, the 54 Gruenberg, 46 of Hanshaw, the 11 of Wade Lear round out your top 5 out of turn 4 with about 40 laps to go. Green flag back in the air.
Solid start for everyone. Now Thomas trying to get clear of Gruenberg, make sure he's not a factor, but Gruenberg chucks it in the corner, but loses mid-quarter speed.
Yeah, he was trying to get there, but couldn't quite. The 09 of Johnny Thomas now rolling the outside lane, trying to get to the outside of the 17, and can't do so just yet. And a big fight behind. There's Tate Lytle and Sam Close side by side. There's Hanshaw now side by side with the 54. This is for 3rd.
Yeah, and Groomer's just going to rock that outside lane, take it with ease.
Johnny Thomas trying to launch the fight to Cameron Rich, but no one's been able to do so so far. Remember, Cameron Rich is not running for points in this series. He's just out here to do the fun stuff, and right now, he's been having a really good season running the fun stuff. Oh no, big wreck at the front. The leader's all involved, and a huge mess for the 09 to Johnny Thomas. The 17 involved, and others. Big pile up, the 42's out. And just like that, we were just talking about how the 17 isn't running for points, but what happened at the front of the field, and it took out Jadrsic in one fell swoop, and our leader, Cameron Rich, has gone around. Let's take a look at what happened here for the leader, Cameron Rich. So he was out front by his big margin, and the 09 was their contact here, to the 17 lose it all on his own.
From what I saw, it looked like he lost it all on his own.
Oh, he just spun out, and then of course the 54 and 09 couldn't go anywhere, and I'll drill them, and then the 42 just clobbers the 09 under yellow. Nothing, you can't stop though. I mean, it's so hard to stop. Right on board the 42 here. And an uncharacteristic mistake by the 17 to just spin out.
Yeah, and also that was a big break. I believe it looks like it's going to be a big break. Robert Hill Jr. He got a penalty for changing lanes on the restart. It looks like that got cleared. I don't know if they'll re-administer it when we go back green, but I'll keep an eye on that.
Well, that's tricky to stay in your lane here on the dirt tracks because you gas it up, you're going to slide over 2 or 3 lanes. So that's a challenging thing to police here. But the inside is going to be Matt Grunberg. He is going to be scored. I think he's scored as your leader, is he not? Or is the 17 scored as the leader?
I believe it should be Hanshaw that took the lead.
Yeah, I think it is. The 17 just pulled up a little bit. But Cameron Rich will continue. Matt Grunberg's got some damage. Now Paul Ross looks like he's getting a lap back. He gets waved around as we get the 2 to green. 16 trucks on the lead lap now with 55 of 90 laps completed. Well, we thought it was going to be crazy, Finian. Did you expect it to be this crazy and have the leader spin out on his own and collect half the field?
No, not quite. I haven't seen that happen in a very long time.
It's rare, but lights are out on the pace truck once again for the 7th time tonight, and we'll try this again. Getting closer and closer to the end of this one. Again, a very short race, only 11 minutes of racing remaining if we go green to the end. Cameron Rich on the inside lane, but it's the 46. Actually, 46 has been pushed back to 3rd. So Cameron Rich is scored as the leader because of the way the caution fell. Matt Grunberg goes to the outside lane. Then it's Hanshaw Lear, 3rd and 4th. Bet you Hanshaw's probably a little disapproving of the way the order was reset here, but green flag back in the air. Cameron Rich was able to rebound with that with a lucky time caution for his own spin. The 46 slides up in front of Lear, then dives to the bottom down in turn 1.
Yeah, you might have to watch that. I was almost changing lanes there, but he's going to try to defend for a position. He's swamped on either side. Grunberg to the outside. Lytle was on the inside for a moment.
And Tate Lytle trying to throw his hat into the ring here late in the going. Look at the 54 Grunberg to the outside as Rich just tries to drive away, running out of laps for these guys to get something going as they all fight for second.
Yeah, big fight indeed. Grunberg going to rock it around the outside. He's going to get clear for second place. Hanshaw and Lytle still sorting it out.
Oh, the 11 of Wade Lear bounced off the fence going into turn 3. Look at the 46 now go to the outside lane. That is the place to be right now. Lytle's going to try to slide up contact between him and the 46, and it kills the momentum of Hanshaw.
Indeed, does Hanshaw trying to get clear of this so he can have a fight up with the leaders. I think he's got the pace, but just can't get it done. And nope, Lytle is going to take the spot.
Grunberg now trying to close the gap to Cameron Rich. It's a half second right now. Let's jump back midfield. Here's Levi Zielinski fighting back after his spin. There's Dave Hunt on the outside lane inside the top 10 here, halfway through this one.
Yeah, Zielinski was up in the running, but yeah, got put back from that spin as you were saying. I've been trying to make up some spots on the inside lane.
Lap 60 of 90, about 30 to go next time through. Still about a half a second between the top 2 spots. There's Austin Derbyshire in the 66, working on the outside of the M&M's 3. That's driven by Brandon Klosterhuis. For 3rd place, Hanshaw and Lytle at it again. This time Lytle gets the better of him. For 2nd place now. Oh, look for the lead. Grunberg's gotten around Cameron Rich. He pulled the slider, got it done. Rich back to the bottom now for the lead.
Yeah, fantastic move there. Rich trying to take it back out. I just don't think that inside lane is going to work. Grunberg is fixed up against the wall. I don't think there's anyone taking it away from him.
Grunberg is running such a great line right now on the outside lane. Cameron Rich trying to get grip behind him. Lytle trying to get away from the 46 of Hanshaw. Less than 30 to go. 8.5 minutes of racing remaining as Grunberg now begins to stretch that lead out. Caution. Rusty Capel, I think. Got anybody else, Finian?
Not that I can see at the moment.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is for Rusty Capel. Here's a look. He was already 2 laps down and
wow.
just corrected it into the fence, and wow, he got some air there. That's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm amazed he pulled that off. He only hit it at 58 miles an hour.
And he sticks the landing. Kinda. It wasn't graceful. But Capel off track now. That'll be the end of his night. Well, this gives new life to Kyle Hanshaw. He'll be starting in the outside lane. Maybe he'll get a chance to come on by the 54 Grunberg. I think Grunberg is probably going to elect for the outside lane on this restart.
Yeah, I think he is. Also, race control coming over the radio, warning guys to keep it orderly on the restart. A lot of guys almost borderline on lane changing. I think we saw Hanshaw was pretty close on the last restart. So I think they have been giving a final warning before they start bringing down the hammer, especially late in the race. At this point, you're not going to be able to recover from something like that.
You're absolutely right. So look at the line. We can already see that outside line, Finian, kind of getting darker in color and losing that moisture. So you see it kind of shiny there. That's because it's packed into clay. The inside lane still got some room to play. The outside has been more heavily used, and it's also going to get slipperier as we continue to go. So maybe the outside isn't the place to be. But there's still some fresh dirt up by the wall, and that's what the 54 has been chasing. As Ross gets another lap back, he'll now be 6 laps down as we get the caution extended a lap here. So race 7 of the season has proven to be an interesting one. We've had a very weird couple of weeks. We had Eldora, then Montreal, and then straight back here to the dirt track at Charlotte. So dirt, road course, dirt. And I don't even know what's coming up next on the schedule, Finian, but I imagine it's pretty entertaining. I'll take a look here. Actually,
no. Well, next week is going to kind of lackluster. We're just going to regular Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
But after that, though, we do Iowa, then a doubleheader at Lanier and USA, then Daytona 07, Richmond, Sonoma Rally, Myrtle Beach. So that's the next interesting stretch of tracks.
3 Wide Trucks definitely has one of the most interesting schedules in league racing, and we love it because it keeps the diversity coming. But through turns 3 and 4, there's no diversity out front in the 3 Wide Truck Series as it's the 54. Grunberg continue to lead these things, and he's gotten it late in the going. Green flag back in the air, closing in on 20 to go, and the 17 goes back to the bottom.
And Hanshaw wheeling it around on the outside behind him. He's really ready to take this lead back. And he's going to work to the outside of Cameron Rich. Rich stuck on the bottom, can't really do anything.
This is 2 dirt guys going at it right now. The 46 was my pick to win this race. He won at Eldora last year. He's putting the pressure on the back of the 54 now. Will the 54 crack under pressure? It's hard to get this one sim driver phased.
Yeah, Hanshaw really throwing it in there. He gets a look to the outside lane, but Grunberg going to easily clear him
gets
off.
clobbered. The 56 spins.
Lytle
spins around. No caution. And there it is. Caution. 70 of 90. And Lytle was having such a good race. And, well, the pace truck jumped a berm there coming back on the racetrack. But 56 was having a great run. And he'll have to go back in the field a little bit after this spin. Here's a look. 46 kind of coming down the racetrack. Nothing Lytle could have done there. But kept the truck in gear, didn't stall it, and we'll keep rolling. I think he's going to be scored in 12th. $20 laps to go now. Matt Grunberg leads this race. Hanshaw's going to be in second. And this is going to be interesting because Hanshaw's probably going to start on the bottom for this restart. Do you think he tries to pull a slider?
I think he might. I think he's kind of running out of options. I also wanted to point out there was a little bit of an incident on that restart that involved guys in the back. So the 3 went around for a complete loop. Didn't get any damage, but who did get damage was Nathan Velez, and he's going to call it a night.
Paul Ross gets another lap back. He's going to be only 5 laps down. If he continues getting cautions at this rate, he'll be back on the lead lap competing for a spot. So another reason why you stay in the fight until the very last lap. We have, it looks like 6 or 7 DNFs right now, and Velez will join that list as we have 14 drivers on the lead lap.
And also, Robert Hill Jr., he's coming to the pits.
Now that truck, wow, look at the dirt on that truck. Is that painted on, or is that actual dirt?
No, that's actual dirt.
Wow, that is, I've never seen it.
Even if you look at Johnny Thomas, his truck is also looking really dirty from the front.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas. Oh, the 38's back rolling again. You mentioned Johnny Thomas in the 09. His truck is all filthy. How about the 15 of Frankfield? He's had a rough day. Not filthy, but certainly very damaged as the pace truck pulls off. 54, Grunberg's going to have the lead here on the outside lane. Is he going already? Looks like he is. Very early launch for the 54. Trying to get ground on the 46.
Yeah, and he does that exactly. Green flag back in the air. Hanshaw going to come up to clear second place away from Wade Lear, who's trying to move him out of the way.
That was such an early launch like that. I'd be amazed if we didn't have anybody getting penalties for changing lanes before the restart. And Grunberg and Hanshaw very careful to maintain their lanes. But Grunberg using every bit of racetrack that he was able to use for the restart to get a jump on the 46. And now Hanshaw has to reel him back in. 16 laps to go, coming back to 15.
And again, I gotta imagine, what does Hanshaw got? We saw him have a little bit of pace, just couldn't find a way around that 54. Especially, it's hard because that outside lane is where you want to make the pass, but the truck's already there. There's not much you can do. So
much dirt clogging the intakes of these trucks, but look at Hanshaw trying to close that gap. Last time through was about 100th quicker. Can it be even quicker this time through? Look at, they're running almost identical lines, but the 46 dragging that tail on the wall. These trucks have such long tailgates that they end up scraping the wall more often than not.
Yeah, and Hanshaw just a hair quicker, both of them hitting the wall as they're coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, this is where the quick line is, though. That's why dirt cars are such short wheelbases, that they can do this kind of thing without drilling the fence. But right now, they're running almost identical lap times, but the advantage does go to the 46 as we come to 13 laps to go. Hanshaw is reeling him in, but does he have a place to pass?
I think he's going to try to have to make a dive bomb move into one of these corners to do a slide job and get ahead of the 54. I think that's his only shot. I don't think he can actually pass him regularly.
Look at the wheel work going on board this 46 right now. He is absolutely wheeling that machine, just driving the heck out of it. Look at him hanging that thing out sideways.
Yeah, he is really wheeling that, and I wonder what Grunberg thinking. Is he worried at all about this 46?
He's got full lock in here. And I think the 54 should be worried about the 46. He's been the only one that's been able to keep pace with him when he's out front. 11 laps to go this time through.
Yeah, these guys running out of laps, too, to make something happen here. Ooh, Hanshaw loose off of turn 2, loses some momentum. Here he is to the inside.
Trying to go to the bottom, but he's not going to have enough to clear the 54. He's going to lose a bunch of ground there. He's going to lose all that speed he had gathered mid-corner. 10 to go.
He's going to have to spend some more laps trying to gain that time back. He's running out of laps here.
54 of Matt Grunberg came from 19th to lead this race. Very, very talented driver, but he's got the 46 trying to chase him back down. And the 46 Kyle Hanshaw is quicker, much quicker in fact, but does he have enough time to get to him and complete a pass? And he is just balancing that truck, Hanshaw is, on that quarter panel against the fence.
Yeah, and he's just tapping that end just ever so slightly. Not enough to lose momentum, but is running as high as you can. He's getting the most speed out of it there.
Wade Lear sitting in third if anything happens between these leaders, but that time through, the advantage was back to Grunberg. Caution on the racetrack. It's Derbyshire spun around. And that's going to change a lot here. No green-white checkers in this league. So that advantage definitely goes to the 54 Grunberg, but here's a look at the accident with Derbyshire. Goes around all on his own, and Tate Lytle, great job avoiding that one again. Richard Hines couldn't get stopped, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a night for Derbyshire and Hines. Both of them got pretty bad damage from that.
All right, Finney, this restart going to be very, very, very important. If you're Hanshaw, what's the strategy here?
If I'm Hanshaw, try to get as good of a restart as you can, because we're not going to have really a lot of laps just sorted out afterwards. Try to stick as close as you can to the 54, and as soon as you can, try to throw it up the inside, because I don't think, or move him out of the way, because he's running out of options here as we're running out of laps.
The grip is right up against the wall. Maybe if you're the 46, just try to, go on the bottom and just hope that the 54 slows himself down by hitting the fence. But we're going to have under 5 laps to go. Not a lot of time to chase him down the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and also I just wanted to point out, this is a fun little thing. I noticed right before that caution came out, Hansha ran identical lap times, 2:19.037s.
Well, he's consistent, at least at that. All right, this should be... Oh, there it is, 1 to green. So it'll have a 4-lap shootout to the end. Actually, yes, the 4-lap shootout. If we get a caution, it'll be... no bueno. It'll be over. So the 54 of Matt Grunberg is going to lead this race back to the green. No green-white checkers. And the 54 of Grunberg is going to lead them back down. Is he going to do the same thing? Does Hanshaw plan this out just right to be right alongside the 54? Or does Grunberg get a launch to launch himself back into victory lane out of the final corner? Side by side. Waiting for the green. There it is. Green flag back in the air. A great restart by both those drivers, but better for the 54. 4 to go. Hanshaw goes to the bottom. He clears the 54, slides up in front, does the slide jump successfully, but clobbers the 54 in the process, spins to the bottom of the racetrack, and he keeps it going, still side by side.
Yeah, but lost a lot of momentum, that's key, and here comes Cameron Rich, he's entered the frame, and Hanshaw slides up, loses more momentum out of the corner, here comes Cameron Rich for second place.
Big fight behind him, battles side by side, Hanshaw had an opportunity, he couldn't quite do it, 3 to go now.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of lost.
Here it is, spin, crash!
In front of the field, and there's the caution. Race is over.
Matt Grunberg played that to a T, had one opportunity to lose it, and didn't. But for the 46, it's going to be heartbreak here. He had the opportunity, wasn't able to capitalize, and he'll have to go home empty-handed without a trophy. And Matt Grunberg, this will be the dirt sweep so far this season. As long as he makes it these extra couple laps, we'll get the white flag this time through, but... Man, this 54 truck in every series he runs in is so talented, Finian, and to sweep dirt so far this season, we're looking at the other dirt events later on this year. I'm looking at Sonoma Rally specifically. That's going to be one where I expect Matt Grunberg to do very well. Now, Matt Grunberg says he's not a great road racer, but when we go to Sonoma Rally, I think it's going to be more about the dirt than it is about the road course section.
Yeah, honestly, that I don't think unless some of these guys do actual rallycross, I don't think there's going to be really any way of figuring out who's good.
Cameron Rich is going to rebound for second. He got a feel for the 46, though. Gave it all the effort he could and just wasn't able to do it. How about the 56? He's going to come across the line in 5th, smoking that engine. There's sticking with it. Out of the final corner. 7th. Race of the season, Matt Grunberg gets it done from 19th to 1st. He wins at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Yeah, and win number 5, too, for this 54.
Wow.
So he's on a roll in this series, having won 5 wins out of 7 races.
That's a pretty insane statistic right there for the 40, or yeah, excuse me, for the 54. As we see the rest of the field come across the line, Rich, Close, Zielinski, Lytle, the rest of your top 5. Thomas Hunt, Klusruz, Hill, Lindsay, the top 10. Hanshaw, Lear, Ross, Hines, Derbyshire, the rest of your top 15. And once again, the 40, or I keep saying the 40, the 54 truck of Matt Grunberg, he's going to be doing burnouts at the start-finish line here at the Charlotte Dirt Track.
Small correction to my statement, it's 4 wins, not
4 wins.
5.
That's still okay. Well, he's still won more than half the season, so he's definitely doing very, very well. And that one sim driver just continues to put his name on the winning placards at each racetrack he goes to. Firm championship contender, definitely the favorite now. And it's not because he's the best at every racetrack, it's because he's so consistent across all the different types of racetracks, Finian, that he's so, so good. Here's a look at your unofficial results. And kind of a messy one that one was, Finian. After 90 laps, we had a total of 11 cautions, 34 caution laps. That was over a third of our race, 7 lead changes on the night. But certainly exciting, and dirt always kind of brings that. But, you know, you typically expect it to shake up the field, but not with this 54 car in it. He's just so, so good and wins another one. In just a moment, we're going to jump to break. We'll bring you back with our top 3 and maybe a couple other surprises from throughout the field. Maybe Kyle Hanshaw on the 46. We'll be right back. Stay with us on SimTV. Welcome back live to Sim TV here now with 11th place finisher Kyle Hanshaw and then driver number 46 Toyota Tundra. Kyle, 11th does not represent where you probably should have finished tonight. You put on tried to put on a slide job there on the 54 at the end. Just walk us through your night and then attack on the 54. Probably one of the quickest trucks tonight, but didn't get the victory. What could you have done differently?
Well, I don't know, guys. I'm one of the fastest trucks on dirt. I know that for sure, but I just got to put a whole race together. It seems like this year is a little more challenging for this league. Guys are a little more familiar with the dirt side of things, so it's putting a challenge battling with them. But, I mean, it's been fun so far. It's just, I don't know, tonight I had some good battles going on with Johnny, Cam, Matt, Wade, put on some good racing, good side-by-side, clean racing, and then just the cautions was really, like, messing me up. Couldn't really get into a rhythm that I wanted to. I was practicing on running the bottom for a little while. I thought that would come in a little better than it did, and it did for the first half of the race, but it just became a top dominant racetrack, and it's really hard to pass once it becomes real slicked off up there. And just tried to pull a slider there on that last restart, because I knew that was my only chance to get Matt, because just if he got in front of me, and it's just hard to track him down and complete the pass. So you got to get all you can on that last restart, and I knew that, and just tried to pull a slider in there and try to keep the momentum up as best as I could, because I didn't want to wad all of us up there, because they're going probably 5-10 miles an hour difference once you get up to the wall. But he gave me a little tap, and we kept rolling, so that was good. But I found it was a little harder to see once you got up behind a truck. I don't know if it has to do with like the new graphic updates they're doing, but it was definitely a little more challenging to see once you got up behind the guys. But all in all, I was proud of the effort we had tonight. Good race by the league. So I got to get one of these wins. I've been itching for a win, so it's coming shortly.
In a couple of weeks, we head over to the Sonoma Rallycross course a little bit later in the season. Now, it's a road course, yes, but it's also kind of a dirt track. Is that, do you treat that differently than a dirt oval? Is that something you expect to excel at, or is that kind of a question mark for everybody?
Well, definitely. I think my dirt side will help me there. Not a big fan of road courses, but definitely going to maybe put in some more practice for that race, definitely. But when it comes to battling on the dirt, I'm pretty solid there, I feel like. So we'll see, but something new, and looking forward to that for sure.
All right, well, Kyle Hanshaw, a disappointing 11th tonight, but certainly showed a lot of strength. Kyle, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Just got to give a shout out to my fiance Jess. It's her birthday tonight, so happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Jess, from all of us here on the SimTV team. Thanks, Kyle, and we'll see you later. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks, guys.
All right, next we're going to talk to third place driver Sam Close, the driver of the number 5 3WideRacing vehicle. Now, Sam, tonight was kind of a wild one for everybody, but third place result, you got to be pretty happy with how that night went.
Yeah, at dirt, yeah, absolutely. I'll take a third any day of the week.
When there's so many cautions like this, I think we had almost double digits tonight, if it wasn't double digits. 34 laps of yellow. The restarts become very important. So how difficult is it to maintain your line on a restart, get under power, and not slide out to the fence and not let 3 drivers get underneath you? Do you attack it differently if you're on the bottom or the top, or how do you negotiate those challenging restarts?
Early in the race, it was kind of better to be on the bottom, but then once the track rubbered in a little bit, it was definitely an advantage to be on the top. So it just kind of had to do with how the track was worn in. I think the top was the place to be at late.
Also, the cushion up there as well. It looked like a lot of the drivers up near the front were kind of hanging that right rear tire on the cushion. Is it advantageous to kind of bounce the quarter panel off the fence, or is that just kind of a byproduct of hanging out the truck so sideways?
I saw some guys doing that. I wasn't I was trying to not do that. Some guys were driving it in so deep that it would then slide up the track and kind of bounce the right rear, and then then they'd kind of be a little bit slower on exit, but could still make time. But yeah, I don't know. I've had dirt races here before where if you hit the truck around a little bit, it made you a lot slower, and then this one, it didn't really seem to matter. So,
all right, the 5 of Sam closed. Third place tonight, podium for the 3OG Racing driver. Sam, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Second place now will be the driver, the number 17, Cameron Rich. Cameron, maybe the one that got away tonight, certainly led the majority of the first half of the race. Got to kind of wrestle away from the 54, who started pretty deep in the field, but had a couple opportunities to get it back. Walk us through tonight and those aggressive restarts and the slide jobs that were out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say it was the one that got away. I knew that 54 was going to be quick once he got through the field, so I was kind of just waiting for him to get his positions up there in the front. So I was just kind of running my own race there. I feel really stupid for spinning out in the lead. I don't know what the heck happened there. I just kind of forgot how to go straight or something. But I just want to apologize to Johnny again for kind of damaging his truck there, because I was having a good race with him up to that point. But once the track went away, I kind of just lost the drive. I don't run the top line very well for some reason, so that's kind of where I lost a lot of time on Matt. And that final restart, or the second to last one, I kind of wasn't paying attention, and I lost a bunch of spots. So I'm glad that last restart happened, so I could get some of them back.
All right, well, Cameron Rich, second place tonight. Cameron, still a second place result. You got to be happy with that, and I guess we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Absolutely. We'll move on now to the winner, who's going to be the 54, Matt Grunberg, who we're real used to talking to so far, even early in the season. Matt, I believe Finian said it was your 4th win this season in 7 events, certainly racking up a list of victories, and this one's got to rank up pretty high on your shelf after starting 19th tonight, coming home all the way up to 1st. A great battle with you in the 46 on that final restart. Walk us through your race this evening.
Yeah, the race tonight was a lot of fun. Obviously started in the back. It was a little bit it was really tough to pass on the inside. So once I got to the outside, I was able to make up a lot of time and get by a lot of the guys. The restarts really helped us out too. I think we started on the outside on the majority of them. I think only there at the end we started on the inside. So in third, so that really helped out a lot. But boy, when Cameron Rich spun out in front of us, me and Johnny there, I thought we were going to be done for, but we only got a little bit of engine damage from that, but really forced us to run up top the rest of the race to keep it wound up. But all in all, it was a lot of fun tonight. We had a fast Chevy Silverado. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to saying that instead of the Toyota Tundra, but yeah, all in all, it was a great night, and I had a lot of fun.
As we continue throughout the season, the wins just keep coming at all sorts of different racetracks, but dirt especially, with you won both dirt truck events so far. We look ahead to the Sonoma Rallycross course in a couple weeks. Is that something entirely different, or now do you feel like you've got enough experience on the dirt this year winning races that you'll kind of have the advantage and edge there?
I think we'll do pretty good at the Sonoma Rally, since it's kind of a combination between asphalt and dirt. We did a little bit of testing there earlier in this league, and we had some pretty good results there. So we should be running up front for that race. But as for the other road courses, probably not.
All right, well, Matt Grunberg, another victory this season. Keeps racking them up. Matt Grunberg in victory lane yet again here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Matt, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next time.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Finian, another 90 laps under our belt this season. No real surprise at the top of the board again tonight in the 54. I just don't think I expected it with him starting that deep in the field, and he got himself up there so cleanly, and then just took away the win from hard-charging Cameron Rich and the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw, who tried everything in his power. And let me tell you, Hanshaw knows what he's doing at a dirt track, but for the 54 to wrestle it away, everyone in this field should be terrified about how good this 54 is this season.
Yeah, especially when you can add the fact that he drove all the way from the back, from starting in 19th, all the way up into first to win it, and he did a fantastic job. It was a fantastic drive for him. Yeah, great job for Matt Gerberg. I think you can't really not talk about that guy.
All right, well, a pretty short one for us tonight, but it's going to be a little bit longer one tomorrow night as we head to the Charlotte Roval just across the field here. We're going to be jumping turtles and curbs tomorrow night at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the 3-Wide Race Kings Cup Series. You'll see that tomorrow night. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be Grid Life action returning with Stadium Super Trucks at a track to be announced on Tuesday night when the session goes live. That's some fun stuff coming up this week. We'll see you there tomorrow night. Race Kings Cup Series action from the Charlotte Roval. We'll see you there. Have a great night.